Hi, I'm Gary Bembridge of Tips for Travelers. In this video, I'm going to tell you things that you absolutely need to know about Princess Cruises. So first of all, who exactly are Princess Cruises? Well, Princess Cruises are based in California. They started back in 1965 with one ship, and they've built over time to have 18 ships as of the time of making this video. In terms of size, that makes them the 10th biggest individual cruise brand in the world. They're actually owned by Carnival Corporation. Now, Carnival Corporation owns brands like Carnival, Holland America, Seabourn, P&O in the UK. So Princess Cruises became famous through the Love Boat TV series. The series was actually filmed on the Pacific Princess, and that really made Princess a household name. They take over 2 million passengers a year to over 360 destinations on cruises lasting anything from 3 days up to about 114 days. The second thing you need to know is the category of cruising that Princess operate in. Now, they operate in what's known as the premium category. Now, different people classify cruise lines in different ways, but there's, broadly speaking, 4 different categories. So you have your mainstream cruise lines, which are really good value cruise lines, particularly good for families, that kind of stuff. And that would include things like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian Cruise Line, MSC Cruises. You then have your premium categories, so that's where Princess Cruises sits, and brands that would also compete with Princess Cruises would be things like Holland America Line, which is also a Carnival brand, and also Celebrity. You then have your luxury brands, or some would call them sort of upper premium brands, and that tends to be smaller ships like Windstar, Azamara, Oceania Cruises. You then have your ultra luxury, which are your very premium cruise lines, things like Seabourn, Silversea, Regent Seven Sea, Crystal. So Princess operate in that premium category. So what sort of things do you expect from a premium cruise line? Well, you're going to get relatively good fares. You're going to get some nice touches. So the food is pretty good. You can have lots of choice. You're going to have a wide range of cabin choices ranging from suites through to inside cabins. What you won't get is lots of the added luxuries that you would have with luxury and ultra luxury service. So you wouldn't have, for example, all suite cabins. You won't have big fluffy bathrobes. You won't have branded toiletries in your cabin. You won't have flowers and fruit baskets, that kind of stuff. So it's a slightly stripped back from a luxury brand, but it's sort of, for me, in many ways, it equates with kind of a 4-star sort of hotel experience. So mainstream brands tend to be kind of 3-star hotel experience. You could say that premium brands are sort of 4-star, and the luxury and ultra luxury are really 5-star if you're trying to compare with hotels on land. So the third thing you need to know is, what do they do the same, better, or worse than other cruise lines, particularly other cruise lines are within the premium category. So what do they do the same? Well, they offer largely the same service. So most of those premium cruise brands offer fairly traditional cruise experience. So they aren't going to have big features like rock climbing walls, ice skating rinks. They're not going to be resort style ships, and most of the premium brands like Celebrity, Holland America tend to be the same. It's a fairly traditional cruising experience, so you should expect things like production shows, as I said, pretty good food and choice of food, enrichment lectures, quizzes, games, that kind of stuff. So what do they do better than other cruise lines? Well, Princess would argue that they are the real innovators in the category and within cruising. So, for example, they claim to have been the first to introduce things like private balconies. They were the first to introduce a 24-hour restaurant. They were the first to introduce both traditional dining, i.e. where you had set dining times, and anytime dining. They were the first to introduce a wedding chapel on board. They're also the first cruise line to introduce the Ocean Medallion, which is a little round device that you can either wear as a necklace or as a bangle, which will be kind of a smart system, which will not only open your cabin door, but you'll be able to use it as your charge card. It will also be used to activate various interactive digital screens and help the crew to personalize recommendations, so you don't have to keep repeating to them. So it becomes kind of a smart device. They also claim to have been the first to introduce the Sanctuary, which is an adult-only sort of respite and pool area. The other thing that they do better is they go to more destinations than any of the other brands in that premium category. So, as I mentioned, they go to 360 destinations around the world. So they certainly offer the widest breadth of destinations all around the world. The fourth thing you need to know about Princess is fares, inclusions and exclusions. Whenever you look at a cruise fare, it's very important to understand what's in the fare and what's out of the fare, because every cruise line has slight differences. So what's actually included and excluded in a Princess Cruises fare? Well, first of all, your accommodation is included, so whatever grade of cabin that you've chosen. Secondly, your food. Now, I'll talk a little bit about what's not included, but basically you'll be able to eat all your meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, late night snacks of some kind will be included within your fare. The third thing that's included is entertainment, so the production shows, guest lecturers, guest artists are all included. So let's take a look at what's excluded from a Princess fare. Well, first of all, excursions. So no excursions are included within the fare. Now, sometimes a shuttle bus is included if you're docking somewhere where there is not public transport close by. So for example, we docked in Dublin, which was in the main port, and a shuttle bus was provided. In other places where there was either a train service outside or very easy public transport or walking, no transport was provided into the nearest town. Second thing that's not included are gratuities. Now, gratuities are auto added to your bill. So at the time of recording, if you're in a ocean view or a balcony, that's $13.50 per person per day. If you're in a mini suite, that's $14.50 per person. If you're in a suite, that's $15.50 per person per day. So gratuities are not included. Speciality dining options are not included. There's a few other things that are not included that you should bear in mind, like drinks. So drinks are not included. Some basic drinks are included at meal times, so like some regular coffees, water, that kind of stuff. But if you, all your alcohol drinks, specialty coffees, they are not included. Now, if you want to save some money, they do offer various beverage packages, from all-inclusive packages, which are over $50 a day, where you can basically have any kind of drink you want, as much as you want, right down to specialty coffee cards, where you can, for about $30, have 15 sets of cups of coffee. So there are various beverage packages, soda packages, that kind of stuff that help you save. Wi-Fi is not included, and again, there are packages. Now, like all cruise ships, Wi-Fi is pretty expensive. Now, if you want to save on Wi-Fi, the only way you can really save on Wi-Fi is as you go up through loyalty levels. So as you progress through the loyalty levels in the Captain's Circle, which is their loyalty program, is as you start to do more and more cruises, you start to get some free internet allowance. So the fifth thing you need to know about Princess is accommodation options. Now, Princess ships have a wide range of accommodation. So there's often up to 7 different types of accommodation. So there'll be suites, there'll be mini suites, there'll be balcony cabins, there will be inside cabins, there will be ocean view cabins, there will often be family suites, and there will always be wheelchair accessible rooms as well. So there you have it. That's things that I think that you really need to know about Princess Cruises to help you make up your mind, decide if that's a cruise line that you want to travel with. Hopefully you found that helpful. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please leave some comments, leave some thoughts. But very importantly, please like the video, and very, very key, subscribe to Tips for Travelers YouTube channel. You'll get more travel advice, inspiration, and tips simply by subscribing.